Do you ever wonder about the connection between the brain and music? The brain is not as simple as you think. Music is something very advantageous to human beings. It provides healing, emotions, and motivation. Everyone listens to music and pair it up with any activities they want to do. It became something important and inseparable from daily life. But then, why is it so effective? It affects so much of our lives that it brought impact to what we're thinking, what we're feeling, even how we're doing our routine. It can reduce depression and anxiety, blood pressure and heart rate, physical pain, improve sleep and life quality, mental alertness. Also, it can enhance our memories. Researchers have found that the different aspects found in music can activate emotional, motor, and creative areas of the brain. So it does not only work in one area of the brain, but almost all parts of the brain is activated by music. Wow, such a brain workout! The brain is so stimulated by music that it reaches maximum capacity of engagement in any activity. How does the brain actually work? It has several parts like the cerebellum, frontal lobe, temporal lobe, parietal lobe, and occipital lobe. These parts work according to their functions. For example, the cerebellum functions as the motor control. MRI, or the magnetic resonance imaging, helps scan the brain to see which parts of the brain is performing tasks. The person will be slit inside a tube-shaped tank, then the scanning machine will show where the brain is lighting up when undertaking certain activities or sensing something. The music we listen to obviously travels from the ear, but how does it get to the brain? There are three sections inside the ear: the outer ear, the middle ear, consisting of the eardrum and tiny bones, and the inner ear, which consists of cochlea and cochlear nerves connecting the ear to the nervous system. Sound waves from an instrument or a sound system reach the outer ear. In the middle ear, the sound waves cause the eardrum and tiny bones to vibrate. The middle ear then passes these vibrations to the inner ear, which includes the snail-shaped cochlea. Inside the fluid-filled cochlea are about 20,000 until 30,000 tiny hair cells. These cells are of different sizes that react to different tones and pitches. The inner ear translates vibrations into electrical signals, which are carried into the brain by nerve cells called neurons via the cochlear nerve system. The signals travel along the cochlear nerve system to the brain's cerebral cortex. Other areas of the brain add their power to analyze different elements within the music, such as rhythm, pitch, and dynamics. Music consists a lot of different elements, such as rhythm, pitch and tone, and so on. Each will be processed in the brain differently. The rhythm. The belt and parabelt are located on the right side of the brain. They are mainly responsible for figuring out a song's rhythm. When creating rhythm by tapping toes or beating a drum, the motor cortex and cerebellum gets involved. Pitch and tone. The recognition of the understanding of pitch and tone are mainly handled by the auditory cortex. This part of the brain also does a lot of work to analyze a song's melody and harmony. Anticipation. Research shows our brains create expectations when listening to a song. For example, it would figure out if a beat is steady or the melody makes sense. But we especially like it when songs surprise us with smart, quirky changes. This analysis takes place in the brain's prefrontal cortex. Memory. People have an amazing ability to remember music. These memories are stored in the hippocampus. Performance. Musical acts like reading music, playing instruments, and dancing fires up the cerebellum, motor cortex, sensory cortex, and visual cortex. Emotion. Music has the power to trigger feelings in listeners. Three main areas of the brain are responsible for these emotional responses: nucleus accumbens, amygdala, and the cerebellum. Why does music trigger the brain? What makes it so effective? It's because of tiny chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. There are three main types of neurotransmitters in the brain: dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. Dopamine triggers the motor control, arousal, movement, reinforcement, and global reward signal. The chills humans often experience is the result of a marking of peak emotional response to music. Oxytocin induces bonding feelings, empathy, and trust. It also regulates stress and anxiety related to social interactions. Serotonin contributes to the rewarding feeling of being well and joyful, taking on an important role in mood changing situations and also the increase of self esteem. Unfortunately, like many other things in the world, the brain is not permanently shaped to stay brilliant for more than a couple of years. Just like language, when someone does not input music into their brain for a long time, their brain pathway will weaken and switch to another channel. For example, when a person stops using language for 20 years, they will soon forget how to speak in that particular language. That is why it is better for human beings to be exposed to music often. As the technology grows, researchers begin to use music as a tool for medication and treatments. This branch of profession is called music for therapy, or simply music therapy. Music therapy helps people improve and enhance their skills, whether it is psychological, cognitive, or even physical. It helps people ease pain more efficiently, decrease the level of depression and anxiety, and many more. To be more specific, music therapy supports human memory, cognitive, and social skills. People with dementia or stroke, for example, may go to a therapist to recall their memory or practice walking with music. Other than that, music brings happiness to people and motivates them to do things they need to do or things they like. Music therapy uses a variety of methods such as songwriting, live improvisation, and music and movement. It includes active and receptive methods as to make the client engaged in expanding skills and qualities they lacked before. Music is a universal language. Music therapy, specifically, has no side effects and is not purposefully made only for patients with diseases, syndromes, and irregular conditions. Music creates a safe space for people, as well as enhance skills more effectively. That is why it gives off very positive impacts and is worth a try. Share the word and see you in another chance.